I'm back out at the thrift stores today. I'm in Lilburn, Georgia. I'm going to head into this shop called City Thrift and see if they have any vintage treasures that I can get to help me stock my antique booth. Alright, looks like they're having a sale, but not till July 3rd. Not quite July 3rd yet. Alright, let's head straight to the hard goods section. Some cute beachwear stuff, but it's very lightweight. Looks like Dollar General type of quality. These are cute. Let me guess, they're going to be $2.99 a piece, even though they're clearly a set. I'm going to put these in a cart and just think about them and look them up when I get a chance. See what's underneath the sticker if I can. These are pretty. Just like Goodwill, City Thrift puts the sticker right over the maker. Oh, what is this? Oh my gosh, this is vintage. It looks like Metlox, actually, out of California, but it's $20 for this entire set. So I think they knew they had something of quality when they priced this. That's gonna be tough for resale, but I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I need to look it up and see what these pieces are actually selling for on eBay. This is pretty. It's a nice heavy platter with fruit on it, but made in China. A newer piece from Pike Nursery. That's interesting, actually. So I'm actually going to put this in the cart, and that might be crazy, but I can always put it back. All right, some fancy china. What is this? A Noritake. Looks like another reseller has come before me and tampered with all the price tags to see what's underneath them. Covering up the maker. And that one. Is this Fiesta? I don't know. It is my favorite color. It's the rose color if it is Fiesta. I'm going to put this in the cart and see if the sugar bowl is here. $2.99 for some Abingdon fine china. I like the gravy boat. It is $5.99 for the gravy boat. And of course, I always have to look at the cream and sugar. I'm going to leave these here. I just can't imagine them selling quickly for me. Nautilus made in the USA. Stack of salad plates. All right, let's keep moving. Just kind of take a peek. Just thought maybe that was some more Metlox. Definitely want to look for that pink sugar bowl. What are these? Appear to be hand painted. Okay. These are $2.99 per set, cup and saucer set. Can't make out what that is. Is that Johnson Brothers? Let's put these in and think about it. All right, I'm putting this back. I don't see the sugar bowl. And I've thought about these, and I'm going to go ahead and get them all, I think. They are Johnson Brothers. The cup has an embossed stamp that says made in England, and then there's an ink stamp on the bottom of the saucers. I've run into this before and it was with Churchill, English China, where the stamps were different. $1.99. Oh, I wish I had my little blacklight flashlight that I was talking about getting. I still don't have one. Not sure if that's uranium glass or not. Well, I put the Metlox back on the shelf. I just don't think I can make it work at that price. Cute little demi-tasse cup. Just one of them, though. I really don't need to be looking at coffee cups, but here we are. I like these Corningware coffee cups. What are these? I'm not sure. They look newer. Let's look at the plastics. Mostly I'm making sure that nothing was misplaced in the plastics, and I'm looking for Tupperware, although I'm being a lot more picky about Tupperware. It's just not selling like it used to. Here's a cute vintage thermos, but it's not Thermos brand. It is Aladdin's brand, $2.99. I like the font, that 80s font on the word Aladdin though. Alright, the metals. Let's see if we can find anything interesting in metals. I'm generally looking for, silver, copper, brass, pewter, display pieces for my booth, that sort of thing. What is this? 99 cents. Looks like a dollhouse furniture, maybe. Alrighty, nothing really too appealing in the metal aisle today. Let's look at the showcase. These aren't a locked case, so they have been deemed extra valuable. $30 for that stack of saucers. Some vintage kitchen canisters, looks like. I like this whiskey set with the 2 decanters and the shot glasses. That's cool. And I'm interested in those little green casserole dishes. I wonder what those are. Of course, I like green casserole dishes. Alrighty, toy section. I like this Ken doll. He is $5. I just noticed that orange tags are 30% off today and green tags are 50% off, so I'm going back for this. Alright, just a quick spin down the fabrics aisle to see if there are any vintage quilts or crocheted afghans or anything like that. I'm not seeing anything, and I'm going to go ahead and head to the register. I think I did okay today. I'm glad I stopped in. Alright, well, I'm glad I stopped in there. Once I figured out that the Metlox Poppy Trail little set was going to be 30% off, I just had to have it. It's just so darn cute. When I get home, I will spread everything out, and then I'll be able to tell you how much I paid and how much I expect to be able to sell it for in my antique and vintage booth. Okay, so now that I'm back home and I've had a chance to look everything up, my profit margins from this haul were pretty slim. They're going to be pretty poor, I'm afraid. But let's dive into it. I did go to Goodwill after this store, but I didn't film, so I do have some surprise things to show you after I go through the City Thrift haul. Alright, so orange tags were 30% off and green tags were 50% off. The fact that I was able to get this Metlox set for 30% off is why I decided to go ahead and get it after all of that back and forth. It was all cellophaned up. This pattern is called Della Robbia or Robbia. I'll put the spelling up here on the screen so you can see it. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. It is a 1960s pattern. Of course, it's discontinued, and I think it's lovely. I really like Metlox. Metlox is a California stoneware company, and these pieces are not actually marked on the bottom. Actually, it looks like there's a tiny little stamp right there. Unfortunately, my sugar bowl has a hairline fracture in it, which was not visible because of all the cellophane. So the sugar bowl, I will have to put on the price tag that it is as is. I paid $7 for the cream and sugar, and I will put $22 on them. It's not quite a 3 times markup once you consider the store's commission. So I'll put 22 on the cream and sugar set, and the same on the divided vegetable bowl. The divided vegetable bowl seems to be in really nice shape with no damage, and there's no chips anywhere. It's just that one little hairline fracture. So that's what I've got going on there. Okay, these are actually also Metlox, and I guess they're pretty rare because it was very hard to find this, and I finally found the name of the pattern. I had to visit replacements.com to figure it out and use their little camera lens tool, because eBay and just Google Lens could not seem to pull up the name of this pattern. But the name is called Vernon Bouquet, and I knew that these were Metlox in the store because you might not be able to see this, but the stopper says Metlox on the bottom of them, so I knew that they were, even though I wasn't able to pull up anything in the store and had to do some deep digging when I got home to find out what they were. I paid $6 because they were $2.99 a piece, and I will put $19 on those. Again, that's only just a little more than a 3-time markup on those, which is not really enough to make a meaningful profit margin in my experience. All right, now this was another, okay, here's something else that kind of, I don't know if it went wrong or not, but these are all wrapped up in cellophane as well. These are Johnson Brothers. The pattern is called Sirocco Blue, and it was made from just 1979 to 1980, and it's a lovely pattern, but these are not saucers. This is not a cup and saucer set. They had them all packaged together. So what I have here is 6 flat cups. They do have an embossed stamp on the bottom that says Made in England, and 6 very small plates with a different stamp. I have run into this before, and it was with some Churchill china, also made in England, where one piece had this type of stamp and the other had an ink stamp. So anyway, when I got home and looked up what the saucer is supposed to look like, it's very plain. I'll show you a picture here what this set actually looks like. So because these were on sale, I paid 75 cents a piece for the cups and 75 cents a piece for the plates. And I'm planning on putting $8 a piece on the cups and $6 or $7 a piece on the small plates. I wonder where the actual saucers were. I bet the actual saucers were sitting there on the shelves and I just didn't see them. Next is the Goodwill haul, which I didn't do any filming at, so all of this will be a surprise. I got a set of Tinker Toys for $4.09. It's not vintage. I guess it is because it's 2002, but it's not like one of the old ones from the 70s or whatever. And it does have the metal tin, so the top on the tin. So I think it was made to look older than it is. I will put $20 on these. These do have a musty smell on the inside. Since they are toys, I'm just going to put a dryer sheet in here and close the lid and let it sit for a couple of days, and the dryer sheet will absorb the sort of mildewy odor that's on the inside of this. It was probably sitting in a basement or something. It's just our climate is so humid here. Next I was excited to show you this because I've been talking a lot about wanting to make vignettes in my booth. I was pretty good at making vignettes in my booth when I sold a lot of furniture because I would make vignettes on top of the furniture. But now that I just have shelving units everywhere, it is more challenging to make vignettes. It's still possible. So I got these Reader's Digest books and I just loved the colors of them. And I'm going to use them in vignettes. They're $2.92, which is the going rate for a hardback at Goodwill. I guess I will price them at $12 a piece, but I am going to use them to create height or to create little vignettes in my booth. For instance, just look at how pretty, these colors are together. So anyway, I got some really pretty stuff here, regardless of, look at the yellow book with this stuff, the Metlox. regardless of what I spent, I'm excited about how pretty this stuff is, in my opinion, and how it's going to look in the booth. I also got a really nice copy of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland for $2.92. This is a beautiful book with a lovely pink color. Looks like it's never been read. It looks like brand new. I will put $16 on this. I didn't even look this up to see how much this would sell for on Etsy, so I have no idea. But I can't sell a book in our antique store for as much as I would be able to sell a book for if I had an Etsy shop. And then at Goodwill, I also found 5 of these Russian hand-painted cups. They were $1.09 a piece, and I'll put $7 a piece on these. So these are really pretty. This stuff sells pretty well. I've had a big wooden vase and a big ladle, a big soup ladle that both sold. And I did find some Beanie Babies. I have not found any Beanie Babies in a while. City Thrift had them hanging at the cash register, so that they were like impulse buy items, I guess. Got this cute, clean little guy. They were $2. So Beanie Babies generally sell for $10 in our booth, so that's not a great deal on Beanie Babies. I usually can get Beanie Babies for $1.11 at Goodwill, and these were $1.99 at City Thrift. So City Thrift is definitely a little bit high on their prices, in my opinion, but I needed Beanie Babies, and I like to have something in the booth that attracts kids to come in, because a lot of times parents will say, you can pick one thing, and a child will pick a Beanie Baby, and then we've made them happy, and it lets, you know, mom and dad or grandma and grandpa get to shop for longer. And then here's just an update on my salt cellar. I read all the comments and suggestions on what to do, and ultimately I decided in between putting in the freezer for a couple 24-hour stints and putting it in the sun. And now it just smells like old wood, that old wood smell. I'm happy to report that it no longer smells like mildew. So the wood, I think I'm just going to take some of that orange oil and oil the wood and leave it at that and put it in the booth this weekend. I'll be there working at the antique store on 4th of July weekend on Sunday, whatever. I think Sunday's the 4th. I'm not sure. I need to look at my calendar, but I'll be there on Sunday of the 4th of July weekend. So anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited to get there, work on my booth, take out some of the duds, put in all this pretty stuff, and I will show you what it looks like after I do all that. Well, thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe to the channel. It is completely free to subscribe to someone's YouTube channel. However, only subscribe if you truly would like to see future content from me. Thank you again for watching, and as always, I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.